Annan Forson. Uncle, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
The Annan, is it the fourth or the third?
The fifth.
The fifth. So how come you managed to get the king of country?
Honestly, I don't know. I have no idea.
So
I don't know. I think I was on Joy at the time when somebody called and said he was stooling me as the king of country because of the way I play my country song. So I can't remember who it was, and I don't know. I just kind of like just took it like that. The man waba.
Okay. So the person is not actually okay. Actually, somebody who is a kingmaker.
No, I don't think so.
Actually, why when you know a suspect?
Maybe yeah.
But did they give you a stool name?
No, at all.
So if you were to choose one, what would you choose?
I haven't really thought about it.
Okay, today let's think about it.
No, we can't.
No,
think
wait.
about it.
Okay.
King country, innit? That's all I can think of. King country, innit?
Country, innit? Okay. The first.
The one.
Yeah, the fourth in each way.
I'm the only king of country.
Okay. Is there a prince?
I don't know.
Okay. There's no grandfather?
No grandfather.
Straight king?
Straight
Okay.
up.
Please, today I'm talking to King Country Hine, the first. The one. Sorry. The one. Anson, welcome.
Thank you.
How has it been for you?
It's been good. It's been a good journey. Every journey has its ups and downs, but I think as far as this career is concerned, I've been pretty successful, and I thank God for that.
How do you feel being an ambassador?
It's for me, it's a great honor. It's something that I never thought of, would ever come to me, but it's a great honor.
Ambassador, ambassador of our country.
Quality.
Oh, okay.
Quality insurance.
Because of your quality voice.
That's what this voice.
Quality presentation, quality everything. There are things they saw in you that they realized that because at this age to be an ambassador, ambassador at large for now when you're at large at home.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Oba as a shock and Oba as a surprise.
Both shock prize.
Okay, good. Good. And Oba Humachana, was it a phone call or a letter?
They actually the office, about 5 of them came home.
Okay.
To my house, and in fact, when I was told that some people were coming to see me, a corporate organization.
Okay. That means you ruled me out.
Yes.
That means once you knew a corporate organization, you ruled me out.
Oh yeah, why not? So they came home and they said, they were from Quality Insurance, and that they launched it in 2023.
Okay.
But I think they must have been looking for somebody with a certain caliber. I really don't know, but they came to me and said, they wanted to give me ambassadorial post, as in be the brand, the face for Quality Insurance. So I don't know, I was quite surprised, and it took a while to sink in, because it's quite a huge honor for me to be chosen from all the people who are probably getting to my age or get to retirement and stuff like that. So it's a great honor.
I think they were looking for people your age.
Well, the thing of it is actually what is actually for people getting to retirement, 55 and above.
Oh, okay. That means I qualify. Now radio na then starting then. Who is Jim?
Jim Amokpofo.
It didn't mpede musuambo.
Amokpofo.
Sure. I have to try and engage some fertility before Amokpofo. Where is he from?
I guess he's ever, but I don't really know where he's from.
Why is it? Even where the grave is.
He's still alive.
Oh, he's still alive?
Yes.
Oh, Mapacho, I called the cry.
He lives in I know he lives in Eburi somewhere, but...
Oh, I charge him from my papa.
Papa.
Because for him, what is done? Other Masumoko. Now, I wouldn't know what trickle down to me. Yeah, then I Uncle Jim, Mapacho, wherever you are. Akwa,
yeah.
I don't know. What is his voice like?
That was what actually attracted me to go and see him at GBC. You know, I have said this, I've told this story so many times. Sometimes a misfortune can be a blessing in disguise.
Yeah.
I actually didn't want to do radio. I never thought about it. But his voice is very captivating.
I thought you said you wanted to do radio engineering.
No.
But engineering, what did you want to do?
I was a mechanic actually. I trained as a mechanic. You know.
Oh, can there be a radio fitter? Radio fitter would have fit it. Okay, so
very captivating voice. You know, he had this slight American slang. But what actually attracted me to go and see him, you know, I was ill for a very long time.
Okay. Now
No. I had what they call a hepatitis, jaundice.
Oh, okay.
So you know jaundice.
I wouldn't say before. How do they change the names like jaundice? Why they say also hepatitis? Why?
I think it's various steps. I mean, jaundice would be probably the minutest. Then it goes to hepatitis, then hepatitis B or C or whatever.
Yeah, baby, we weren't hearing the names, but as we're growing, we are hearing some computer names. So
I don't know, really. I really don't know.
Jaundice was it?
Yes. So that was what attracted me. I went to see him, and he was a very unassuming character. Radio can sort of like get people to make you feel as if you are huge. You are huge, tall, that kind of thing, until they meet you. But very unassuming guy, and we met. And at the time, there was going to be a nightclub that was going to be commissioned or opened, Babylon Club.
So you had met him at GBC?
Yes,
you listened to him.
I listened to
on
him
3.366 megahertz, 89.13 meters shortwave.
Hey, okay.
I didn't let me tell you, whoa. You know, I loved when you were changing meter band. That was the time that I loved most. When they were changing.
Yeah, we go for about 15 minutes.
Thank you. And they are changing the meter band. The younger generation, they have no idea.
No.
SW1 and SW2. When you say, and suddenly are quite
external.
Yeah, Baba.
And so we went to the nightclub on the opening night, and there was one gentleman, Benny Osuentry, who was then a newsreader.
Okay.
And those were the two DJs. And they asked me to try, and I said,
in the nightclub.
In the nightclub, and I said, no. I'm not here for that. I just came here to quaff my beer and then watch you and see people enjoy themselves. But one night they didn't turn up. Both of them didn't turn up, and I was there waiting for them. And so Victorio, who was the owner of the nightclub, said, "Oh, I've been seeing with
Italian.
Italian.
Ah, sure.
Why don't you try?" And I had no idea. I was just playing the music by heart. And people would just come on the floor, go off, But I got accustomed to the turntables. Those days we were using vinyl.
Yeah.
And then gradually it started to pick up. And he asked me to come to GBC one day for an interview, which I did. It was then lunchtime rhythms, Saturdays at 1:30. And he interviewed me, told a couple of jokes here and there. And then one day he asked me, can I come and handle the program for him? And I said, my brother. I'm not
so
a staff of GBC, but
let me try and cast my mind back. So 12:30 to 1 will be guitar band stand. And
12 to 1.
And they will go and read the news.
Yeah.
And they will come back at
so I did, and he actually got into trouble because he brought somebody who was not a member of staff. People have never heard this voice before. Well, I think he must have seen something in me, he liked my voice, he liked the way I spoke. And so, I did, and he got a query, but he was able to explain it. And then Mr. Felix Jaffa, who was then the director of radio, may his soul rest in peace, called me and said, people had called him and said, there were some voices that were, more known, the George Crabbe, the Samoas and James Amartys and all those things. So people were calling and say, who is that gentleman on the air? Honestly speaking, what really attracted me to Jim was the kind of music that he was playing, which I liked. More of ballads, but that kind
and I understand the word accident.
So I was asked to try, and I said, well, I haven't really given it a thought, but I said no. So they put me on guitar bandstand. That was how they break your voice in, and I started for about a month, and then changed over to lunchtime special, and then gradually, grew to other programs. And so that was basically how I got into radio.
We'll continue the story, but tell me about the importance of voice then. Nowadays, we bringing it into modern radio. People they just screaming on radio. In those times, they say you don't have a radiogenic voice, you don't go on air.
Yes, I think if you had a very shrill voice, there were certain words that you should be able to pronounce. I mean, you need to speak impeccable English. Perhaps the voice really didn't 100% matter, but you should be able to communicate, to the listener or draw the listener to the station.
Diction,
that kind of thing. And so that is for me the importance of voice. Obviously, you do some voice training, but I think that is more for music than anything else. And so that was how I started radio, as a matter of fact.
So we'll go back and forth. I remember learning the ropes. I had to carry people's bags to the studio.
Yeah.
So there were LPs that you carry, and when they take it, scissors, and they are like, as if they are now cutting it for the very first time. They will make a lot of noise. This is fresh music. They were doing scratches and those things.
Exactly.
Tell me about your experience. So were you just watching, or you were carrying the bags as well?
Oh, for a couple of times, yes, I carried bags. But it wasn't compulsory.
Okay.
But you wanted to be attached to somebody.
To great joy.
And for you to carry somebody who is good, his bags and records, then
big privilege.
Big privilege, But I'll tell you one thing, the first time I went on air alone without supervision, I was very, very scared, because at the time, Radio 2 was the only radio station you could listen to, no other radio station, So everybody was listening to you, and therefore you had to be extremely careful. In fact, you had to script everything.
Yeah.
From your hello, your good afternoon, to your sign off, bye-bye, or whatever it is. You had to script everything. And they'll go through, the producer for the program will go through the script to make sure that everything is, before you go on air. So,
and I heard you had somebody playing your music, or you played your own music?
No, we played our own music. It was when GBC FM came, that the console was outside, and the studio was inside. So
this is Radio 2 matter, SW2.
Yeah, the SW2. That one, there you had your own turntables,
Wow.
So you had to play your own music.
So 33, 45, or
45. Those days we didn't really have 78, but it was more of a 33 1/3.
33 1/3.
And then maybe the 45s. But even the 45s, you would hardly use them because they're too small. You could get those tracks on maybe the LPs of those.
Those were for singles.
Exactly.
Please, if you are listening and you are lost, please. We are talking about LP days. So at that time, later on, did you have the chance to go to the GBC training school?
We went for weeks or 2 weeks training with Sam Yeboah.
Oh,
yeah, he was the instructor at the time, but it was more of having to do interviews, how to interview people, if you have a panel, how to be able to control that panel, without one screaming, and you make sure that everybody's voice was at par, not one up, one down. Of course, you get people like that once in a while, but that was more of it. But I'll say that everything I've learned in terms of radio was self-taught.
Wow.
Was self-taught, because I would listen to BBC, I would listen to VOA. There were a couple of musical programs on VOA that I would listen to just to find out how things were done. But everything that I've learned on radio up until today is self-taught.
What were some of the voices that you met at that time?
In GBC?
Yes.
Oh, I met quite a few of them. George Crabbe, He was also a supervisor. I met Robert Owusu.
Wow.
I met James Amate, Mr. Voice.
Was his voice intimidating you?
No. I actually loved his voice. He was the only person who, if he sat in front of the microphone, would have to turn the microphone away from his mouth. Because the voice was so deep. Yeah. And I know for I won't say a fact, but I think he was with the Presbyterian choir. And he was the only person in the choir singing bass.
Amplification of the
voice. Joe Randolph, Yasamoah, Charlie Sam.
CS. Chocolate Sweet.
Chocolate Sweet, Charlie Sam and a few others, I know there's so many of them.
A joke that I heard, they say when James Amate comes on air, and you have cobwebs in your speakers, they come out themselves. They come out. By the time the man starts speaking, you see the cobwebs coming out themselves.
Exactly.
Was a booming voice.
Oh yeah.
I don't think any voice comes near.
No, I've never heard any voice like that. Even now.
Even by White.
Yeah. No. It was no. It wasn't near cry.
Wow.
And
what were some of the people in the sports department?
Oh, there was Harry. There was Kenamwa.
Harry Thompson was there.
Harry Thompson.
That was my man.
Yeah. Then there was Nianum Thompson.
Yeah, Nianum and then Harry Thompson as well.
Yeah, they were brothers.
Yeah. Okay, I now understand.
Yeah.
But Harry was my man.
Yeah, Harry is the eldest one.
He was my man.
Yeah,
I once remembered he was giving commentary between Heart and Nkana Red Devils or so, and there was the way he was describing the thing. There was no TV then. It was like,
you could visualize. Yeah, you could visualize what was going on.
One player was Musalepete, and that's what this one was 87 or 80s.
Well, let's just say the 80s.
80s, yeah. So I was listening to him, and then he was describing the person's name was Musalepete. And then I think he took a shot, then Sam Supe caught it. But the way he said it, when he said cracking shot, and in fact, Ojawum, I was confused. How could a man say Ojawum? So when I went to school, I was studying geography, and then they asked where Kitwe was. And I said, Zambia. And my teacher was, you're not supposed to know that. I said, I got it from sports. They said, what do you mean? I said, the team that came to play Accra House of Folk, then they said they were from Kitwe. So that's why. So they said, so that's why you learned. I said, yes. I learned it from commentary. And I've never forgotten that. My teacher was surprised.
Like Kim Oshweshwe of...
Oh, Leopoldville. But that name, dangerous name. So we meet these people there at GBC. Now, so at what point did it sink in, and did you fuse into the thing that you are now on your own?
Well, it could be, let's say, maybe 6 months, to a year, because it was difficult to assimilate the fact that a lot of people were listening to you, and they taught us something, or I learned something in radio, is that you create an image of somebody you love very much, because you don't speak out to the listeners. You speak to one person, and that person should be somebody you love so much. It could be your fiance, it could be your wife, it could be a good friend. So you talk to that person, and that person is like a conversation, so that you don't think that so many people are listening to you, and you got to be very extra careful, not to make mistakes. But definitely mistakes will come out, no matter, as for the shots there, you fire.
Very important.
Very important.
Very important.
Yeah, it's like, potholes. You dodge one, you get six free. Yeah.
No one is very important.
So it sank in. And when I started, I can't remember exactly when, but when I started laughing on the air, then, we'd be given certain shows to do, the late afternoon shows. Yeah. So I chose Thursday. And I used to call it the 620 Soul Train, then I changed it to 1605 because it started at 4:05. And I was the only person who started laughing on the air, and I got into trouble, because everything was so mechanical in GBC. You must be straight jacket kind of thing. And I said to my boss, well, this is me. I want to create a style. I want to be different from
as natural as
possible. So if laughing is going to get me on the air, this is me. You take me for what I am, or take me off the air.
Okay.
And
Amazing.
yeah, I mean, I had to, because you don't want to be the same breed of presenters every day, mechanical straight jacket kind of thing. So I wanted to be different, crack jokes, but of course you must know your parameters, not to step on anybody's toes, which I did, and I did very, very well. And so that was how people started distinguishing me from the others who are
The
straight jacket.
Monday, the Tuesday, Wednesday, come
Yeah.
Tananan, Tananan, Tana. Who was John the Baptist? That's the name I want. What's the full name?
John the Baptist Anira Abba.
So where is it, Kwesi?
I don't know.
You were pronouncing the thing the longest. John the Baptist when you were signing off. That style.
Kwesi Anira Abba. I gave him the Kwesi.
Ah, true. I knew there was something.
Anira Abba.
Where is he?
I honestly cannot tell whether he's still alive or
You
not.
made him the man.
Yes,
made him
and
the
then there was so much jealousy because of the way we, handled that show.
You
And,
really bonded.
And yeah, we bonded very well. And
And
he
you
was
could
transferred
tell.
to the north.
Is he from there?
Yeah.
they will tell you they are promoting you. Meanwhile. But it was a good show.
It won I think 3 awards.
Yeah.
That particular show.
At that time I was a schoolboy. So I just come from school then my transistor radio. So I'll go and tune in. By the time I come there, 1 something, I think 12, when you start transmission, before I go and change the meter band, I have to do croc. If you are lucky and you have a Grundig where you press the buttons, you go and get it there. I was listening Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. You have 620 Soul Train. I think I was listening to Solid Black as well.
Yeah, on Saturdays.
Yeah, Kalajima Banaman.
That's right.
That was a very... I'll talk about him later. But did you find it easy getting into radio? Because I've learned that even those who did proper music, getting into, their parents were not. But I'm just asking you that, did you find it easy choosing? Because after school, mechanic, on your radio mechanic.
Well, after school, I had to start work immediately, as a...
What's the name of warehouse?
City Paint Supply.
What on the paint?
City Paint Supply.
What on the?
Obviously, it's paint. Let you know what on sir.
No, say paint in be a spray.
City Paint Supply.
Okay. No wine.
To do.
Now what the break I can't. Okay, you become awesome.
So yes, that was how, I had to start work. I couldn't go to sixth form. I couldn't go to university. I've never been there. So I had to start work to sort of like help my mother take off stuff, when it comes to money, pay my own fees to finish Form 5.
No level on the form.
On the phone.
Anchor.
On the phone.
Your level. No, that was more money.
The thing with the mathematics, I failed with success.
Oh.
I was very successful at failing mathematics. Very successful.
Oh, I asked some more. They be the Macamassam. Matt is on your
I wouldn't say I had it easy, but I had the opportunity, which was given to me, because you had to apply for the job, you had to go for training and all that. But I think with me getting on the air, not being approved by the director of radio, gave me the opportunity to get on.
It wasn't or luck and or destiny, another or duma, another grace.
It might be Josephine.
Okay. Josephine's no yam too.
Pao.
Josephine.
Yeah, but I would say that it was both luck and destiny. I was destined to do radio. And so if God has chosen my path to be a broadcaster, hey, so be it. And that's my success up to today, 47 years.
Wow. Okay. We are live on Z101.9 FM. We are talking to the king of country Hine, Nana Tommy. No, Nana the Tommy.
Nana Country Hine the first.
No, Kwekwana Yadwa.
Me Kobna.
Okay. Nana Kobna Country the first. Sorry, the one. Na Cape Coast na infinite. Enyo enko home po papa nyo anko why.
Only when my grandmother died, but I remember we went to a pedo.
Paid, okay.
Yeah, that's where I'm from.
Not the seminary.
No. No, thank you. You too.
Not the seminary.
No. You know.
But your father was a military man.
Yes, he was the first black captain in the British Army. Very, very strict. Very, very strict. But I would say that he made us who we are today as far as discipline is concerned. You know, timing, being conscious of what you're doing, make sure you don't get yourself into trouble because he will deal with you. But I think he made us who we are today.
A strict disciplinarian.
Very, very strict. You know.
I can't see for boys and girls or good He won't make you read. Or nitrim.
Yes.
Whatever to do team.
Oh yeah. You know, and one thing he never did was for me.
Yeah.
Maybe my other two brothers, one is late, you know, may so rest in peace, John. If he slapped you would not see stars, you'd see Jesus himself.
Oh yes.
You know, and
you first captain there.
You spin like a vinyl.
Yeah, first captain there.
You know, and you won't see stars, you see Jesus himself.
First captain there.
Yes,
could be.
You know, but he made us who we are today.
Yeah, then I say. So he passed on before you decided to do radio, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Was your mother supportive?
Very.
Oh, okay.
Very, very supportive. You know, she was British. Very, very supportive. I mean, she just wanted to see me succeed in any sphere that I chose, you know. So she wasn't that you have to be a doctor, you have to be this, you have to be that, you know. Once, you know, this has been decided for me by God Almighty, go for it, you know.
People who choose careers for their children, what word do you have for them?
I don't think personally it is right. Everybody has got a different IQ. Everybody's sense of security is also different. Some people are very smart, you know. Some people, it can be a gift, okay? So once you realize that this is where you want to chart your path towards, it can be music, it can be whatever it is. You know, I mean, look at Black Sheriff today.
Yeah.
You know, look at Shatawale today. Look at Stoneboy. You know, I wouldn't say that, you know, their parents were maybe fully supportive of what they wanted to do, but you see, once God has chosen you to do this and you do it properly, you know, success comes out. So, for me, I don't think it is very right for people to say, okay, you have to be a doctor. You might be a good doctor, you might not be a surgeon. You know, so it actually depends, but I don't think people should force their children to do what they don't want.
Sometimes, don't you think they need to shape us a bit?
No, you can shape us. You can give us advice, you know, but don't force the person to say you have to be a doctor, you have to be a nurse, you have to be a lawyer, you have to be this, you know. You might go into law, but you might lose a lot of cases because you don't know how to twist, you know, information, get information, you know, cross-examination and all that. So if the person is going to be a doctor on his or her own, I mean, why not? You know, it's not the most prestigious thing. Everything that you do, by the grace of God, you can make it prestigious.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? Yeah.
Because I remember when I was in school, I was a school editor of the school magazine. One day I wrote an article. I was quite okay. I knew how to play with words. I wrote an article and my headmaster then called me and said, Kofi, I will do my 2 men, law and a journalist, man, and that took me away from. So when he heard that I was on air, I was like, Kofi, I will remember news, and sometimes I sit back and I'm like, maybe if it hadn't been him.
Well, look at where you are today.
Yeah.
You know, so for me, I feel destiny is there, but God is the one who chooses our path for us.
And a calling is a calling.
A calling is a calling. Wafro and wafro.
One for a while.
Monko.
Because growing up around 10, 11, I was a chorister.
And they actually allowed you to sing?
Oh, yes.
Huge mistake.
And there was no way you could listen to secular music at home. My only chance of listening to secular music is on GBC. Other than that, the thing that was at home, you won't play it. What you have is classical music.
And choral music.
What Beethoven, Mozart, you didn't even have the chance. So when, after going through this, you see the calling of, and then around the 70s, when I came to myself, so if anybody sees me today and calls me Willie P, that means he knows me in the 70s. So I stand at attention. Yeah, people, they see you, they call you. But when somebody shouts Willie P, then I'm very careful. Because I was so much in love with Wilson Pickett, they called me Willie P as a child. So the way I came to love music.
Land of a Thousand Dances. I remember that was one of his biggest hits.
Wilson Pickett. So there you are. Now getting into radio. Now you've gotten into full-time radio. So after your 6 weeks training, did they give you an appointment letter?
Oh yeah, they did as a program assistant.
I was coming to that. Do they like that?
Yeah, program assistant, PA. That was the lowest grade.
Oh, okay.
And then you go to SPA, which is senior program assistant, and then you go to producer. Okay. But in my case, it was the first time that happened in GBC. I went from PA straight to producer.
Wow, you jumped the SPA.
Yeah, because they thought that, look, what was the SPA for? I mean,
so the PA was your assist form.
Yes, more or less.
And the producer was the university.
And it was. I stayed there. You stay there for quite a number of years. But it was after that, as a producer, I left GBC after 16 years and went to Joy FM.
We'll come to that. So, who was the most notable person that you interviewed first? That you shook. Because I remember my first one when I had to interview President J. Kufuor, then a candidate. I interviewed him, and the following day I interviewed Professor Mills as well. I was shaking. I was like,
well, if you're talking about high profile people,
high profile people.
It was J. Kufuor.
Me too.
That was then at Choice FM.
Oh, yeah, some more. Then you had moved to Trepo. I'm talking about GBC.
Oh, okay.
Were there musicians?
There were some pretty good musicians. I think I interviewed Amachi Dede once.
Amachi Dede.
Ben Bracco. Ben Bracco. Okay. Yeah. A couple of others. I had the chance to interview Jermaine Jackson. But unfortunately, because of the bureaucracy and all these things, he was not allowed because as a foreigner to enter GBC. You have to go through the castle. You have to go through all those state protocol and blah blah blah. He came to GBC and he left annoyed. I couldn't interview him.
Wow. But you were different. I knew you loved country music. You still do. But your choice of other genre was something else. You made me hear George Dako's.
Ekoti Brafo.
No, Akukwati French, not the other one. George Dako, it was a Thursday, I've forgotten the date. Eddie Kamfo.
Yeah.
If you remember the song, the bass line.
Yeah.
And quite, I don't know whether I should play it. Eddie Kamfo, Eddie Kamfo. And then, okay, maybe I could play Eddie Kamfo for you to refresh your memory. This is music from George Dakon, the man sitting, the veteran, and then the man sitting right in front of me. I heard this song from him first. You remember this one?
I do.
You
I
made
do.
me hear it for the very first time.
I do.
And then Francis Foster's Nikribi.
Yeah. Way back.
Me, I'm a kid, though. I was listening to you. Francis Foster's Nikribi. I remember that one. When I was like, who's this from Sierra Leone and all that. I was like, so. And then you had a special song. Which one that if you get a guy, don't forget the sugar?
Yeah. It's a rock and roll song. If you get to carry on.
Yeah. I want that song. What's the title of that one?
I honestly can't remember.
Oh, gee.
Master, Abba.
Hey, uncle. Nyabotare and you man the muso me tete you. If you got a guy, don't forget the sugar. That was a nice song.
Yeah.
And you made the 1605 show, the show.
Well, I tried. I like I said, I wanted to be different, from all the others, and so my choice of music was paramount to me. I made sure that what I enjoy, people or majority of the people should also enjoy it, and that is what attracted them to me.
So, is the humor from mom or dad?
I really don't know, honestly speaking. My father was quite jovial, but not to the extent that he would make you laugh.
So you're not a jovial. Oh.
But I think mine is just inborn. I was meant to be somebody who has a sense of humor, and that was how I was the first person to start stand-up comedy in this country.
We'll come to that. And then you were mixing your fancy with English and everything.
It was actually Chinglish.
About time they had them courage in there. I started there, so about time they had them courage in there. No, I think now I can do it. I mean, the GBC was strict code of ethics, was a code of conduct. How did you manage to?
Like I said, Pakofi, I just wanted to be different, and I just said to myself, look, come what may. But you see, at a point in time, it was GBC who was gaining the glory because of me.
Well, I sure.
You understand what I'm saying? Yes, I thank them for giving me the opportunity, and I always do that. But they also took the glory as, hey, you people, you've got this presenter there. He's good, so make sure you keep him. And people would actually write to me. Those days, no cell phone, no nothing, would write to me and say they actually wait for the 6:20 Soul Train. University students would go and, converge around somebody's radio in groups.
My comes one day.
And you just can't imagine these things happening because you're alone in the studio.
Yeah.
But then again, you are hoping and praying that people were enjoying the show.
Radio is madness.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
It's just like you in the bathroom. You alone. You are talking. You don't know people. You don't see anybody. You are talking to yourself.
You are talking to a microphone.
Voila.
But the thing of it is that microphone makes or unmakes you. It can make or destroy you.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? But I was determined to make it. Once I could speak very good English, mixed with tree or fancy or whatever it is, create the humor, and above all, have the music that people like.
One thing I fear about radio is if you are writing and you make a mistake, you can correct it. But on radio.
No. Okay.
Jesus.
It's not
easy.
I remember one time I was, you had segments. You even as a continuity announcer, you have to introduce programs. And whilst you are doing that, or the program is running, you are logging, all the programs and stuff at the same time.
Okay.
Now, there was a program called Attention Please, Mr. Chairman. And at the time, it was Chairman Rawlings. That program was dedicated to him.
Okay.
So it's like, whatever problems you had,
okay.
And just as I was about to introduce the program, I had a musical break, and I just played Victory from Kool and the Gang.
Hey.
And I came on and I said, it is now 6:30. We now present Attention Please, Mr. Victory. I'm sorry, I'm just recovering from a cough,
Oh yeah, some more.
And it never occurred because sometimes you make that mistake and it's gone.
It's gone. Yeah.
It's gone. You can't. And
Somebody has to prompt you. Say, did you really say that?
Did I say what? So you said, attention, please, Mr. Victory.
Are you sure?
I said, are you sure? I said, no, it's not possible. So afterwards, when I went off shift, they played the intro for me, and I couldn't laugh. And apparently, Chairman Rawlings
was listening.
He laughed like crazy, But these are some of the things that will happen in radio. And if you're able to laugh at yourself, your own mistakes, you're able to accept criticisms, you accept praises, and you balance the two. You learn from those things.
So at GBC, were you at GBC where you had to transition from vinyls to CDs, or you had to go to Joy FM before?
No. We had CDs.
Let's talk about the transition.
I started getting CDs long ago, until we got CD
So
players.
at your time, did we have Payo problems?
Oh, Payo, it's everywhere. It's something that will not end today or tomorrow. Oh, yes. No. But if you make it a habit, you find it difficult to live without it.
But the song should be good.
The song, yeah. And that was one of my principles. If the song is good, bring it, I'll play it. If it's not, forget it.
If you get a guy, don't forget the sugar.
Don't forget the sugar. Or the shito.
Okay. So he's been there.
Oh, yeah. And it will forever be there. It's something that, unless, of course, you want to say that, you don't need it.
How are you choosing your music? Because sometimes the kind of things you play, it blows my mind.
Honestly speaking, this question has been asked several times.
With a different twist.
Yes. Like today somebody will say, how do you select your country music? How do you play it? How do you select your songs? You must be in a certain mood. Okay? Sometimes, Pakofi, I'm sure you've also gone through that where today I really don't feel like doing a show. I really don't feel like doing a program. I don't even feel like coming to work. That is the day you have the best show. So for me, I would listen to some of the songs and say, okay, this has not been heard on air before. This has not been done on air before. So I will choose songs that, whether you like it or not, you will listen to it because of perhaps the way I would introduce the song, play with it, and sign it off. What we call a back announcement. So all these things made me a different person on air. Choice of music, to fit the people who are listening. And for me, my main focus was cut across all ages, both for young, middle age, and also for the elderly.
People like me.
Yes, the elderly. Bele.
Doesn't mean so. Me too much vinyl and some
cassette. Yeah,
I'm there.
I remember.
Yeah.
And so for me, I would want to cut across all ages, even though you target the elite.
Yeah.
Okay, but if you're able to target all, you get the young to like you, you get the middle age to like you, and that was my focal point.
Oh, okay.
To get all the people to like me, and that was how, perhaps even today, the young ones are listening to country music, even though they say it's for old people. But you see, it's the storyline. Okay, and perhaps how I played it. But for me, it was to cut across everybody, get into everybody's mind, their hearts, to say that, that's how even university students were listening to me playing. If you get your Gary,
don't forget the sugar.
Very
important.
Very, very important.
The hook was there.
Yes. Exactly.
It was nice.
So that was one of my main focal points.
For country, I know. For country, I also loved country. I also started playing with country and Africa. But when it came to the 620 Soul Train,
when it came to well, I can't.
You're very important.
It's very important.
Also.
Yes,
when it came to the 620 Soul Train, the mixture or Hana High Life be album now, rock be album. That's where I'm trying to find out how you fit in the rock and waltz and and there's something some of you did today. I want an explanation. the favorite song or the song that people will like, they will play it like 2 minutes to news time. So when you enjoy the konko,
Exactly.
I know a friend that is it a
Exactly.
teaser or what?
Yes, we call it a teaser.
Why a bad pa?
Yeah, we call it a teaser.
When you know everybody is singing along and then why?
It was a teaser. Sometimes you see, you have to get the listener to yearn for you. Yearn for you in the sense that he or she doesn't know what you are going to play. And mine was always unexpected because it wasn't just the normal songs that I was playing. I'll get away from the usual stuff, until I get maybe, a couple of songs like Ekoti Brofo, Akukoti French.
Akukoti French, yeah.
Yes, that's a song that almost every station
will play.
Later on will play,
But the Akukoti French bit, was it?
Yes. When I said Ekoti Brofo, Akukoti French, and it just set people off laughing,
Yeah.
So
because I thought you were going to say Annan French. The Akukoti French, I was like,
this man pa.
To win 2 man cash the Akukoti French. So GBC for 16 or 14?
16 years.
Hey, hey, Bill.
Yeah.
How's your movement? Were you poached? Were you caught? No, I won't use the word poached.
I wouldn't say poached, but more of approached.
You wanted a different environment.
Yeah, I you see, in GBC, even though I created my own style, laughter, jokes, what do you call it, you still had to toe a certain line, in line with whichever government is there, to make sure that. And for me, I've never done politics in my career, as a broadcaster, and
when you want to know politics on your fight,
on your fine, I needed to set myself free.
Okay.
Open up, and I'll use the word perhaps explode. In terms of what I'm able to do on air. No, don't do this, don't say that, don't do this. Even though fine, the parameters.
Yeah.
And so that was how when I left GBC, everything of me came out.
Okay.
Everything,
No inhibitions
at all, no restrictions, But you must know your parameters, and it sticks on you so much that if you attempt to cross the line, something tells you, don't go there. I had no restrictions as far as jokes were concerned, but I would never tell dirty jokes. We had a program called A Gift of Song.
Gift of Song.
Where people were asked to, call in, request a song. I would ask you what you do. And I remember, I will never forget this one, Pakofi. A lady called, and I said, "Oh, what do you do? What do you do for a living?" She said, "Oh, I sell cosmetics." So I said, "Oh, such as what?" And I was expecting to hear maybe like perfumes and stuff like that. She said, "Oh, tomatoes, onions, all those." I said, "What?"
Cosmetics to say nyado ani dosi ni.
And I used to handle that program with Heavy D, and we laughed at this woman like hell. And sorry, there was another time. The first time a gentleman called, and I said, "Oh, are you a very honest person?" He said, "Yes." I said, "Okay, I can't see you.
Yeah.
You can't see me. But if I asked you to spell something for me, would you want to write it down?" So if you do want me to write it down, I'll be very honest. I will not write it.
Okay.
So I said, "Okay, please. How do you pronounce MAC?" Then he said, he thought for a while. I said, "Oh, MAC. How would you pronounce?" He said, "Oh, Mac." I said, "Good. You didn't write it down." He said, No. That one day, I promise you I didn't write it down. I said, "Okay, I'm going to give you a combination. How do you pronounce BOY?" He said, "Boy." I said, "Okay, how would you join the two and pronounce it?" Then he said, "MacBoy." I said, "Fantastic." Then I said, "Oh, MAC is what?" He said, "Mac." Then BOX would be what? He said, "Mac box." I said, "Okay." How do you pronounce HINE? HINE. He said, "Hein." I said, "Good. So please, MACHINE will be what? They said McKine.
They're very good. Excellent.
I said, okay, fantastic. But I thought you'd have said machine. They said, nonsense. He slammed the phone. He never called back again. Then one time he called me. He said, you, Tommy, do you know what my wife did to me?
Oh, McKine.
McKine. She laughed at me. Now, that is his nickname. McKine.
That's a beautiful name.
Correct.
And
you know?
It's when you have children one they say, Daddy, what is the meaning of McKine?
Oh, Bobo was home. You know. And so these are some of the things that I did, you know, to get.
Did you ever get into trouble at GBC?
No, there was only one time I beat up a technician.
Hey.
Very annoying, but that was outside the premises.
Very good.
Outside.
Oh,
not
outside.
inside.
Outside for spiritual reasons.
Yes,
Good.
yes. I used to be very short-tempered.
Meaning they refuse to a short.
Very short.
But why? The humor has.
Yeah. You know, but you know, you as you grow older, you change with these things.
How come age changes a lot of us?
I don't know. I don't know.
I think.
Yeah.
I think God Himself has patience for us. And some of us.
Oh yeah.
But
I think as a broadcaster, it taught me a lot.
Yeah.
You know, because I think my popularity at the time was larger than life. Yeah. You know, and you needed to, or you had to behave in society. You know, I remember I went to it was then what do you call that, cantonments. That's where you could go and make foreign calls. You know, make foreign calls. And I remember I created a problem for myself.
Traffic.
Oh no, not traffic. I was waiting. The person who was making the call.
Okay.
I would be after him.
Okay. And
I won't mention the tribe, you know, but as soon as he said, Ele. Ele. I said, Ele. Can you hear me? Then I remember he was trying to say hello.
From Ele to Hele.
So it was a Saturday.
Yeah.
Monday morning I'm doing
like today.
Monday morning I'm doing the Super Morning Show. And I came out and told the story.
Yeah.
You know, and I laughed myself. I laughed so much. It became so popular.
Hele.
It was annoying.
Annoyingly popular.
Yeah, to the extent that, you know, I'm driving with my AC on. A motorcycle is passing, and you can see the rider look at me and say,
Hele.
I walk into a shop, Hele.
Ow.
I go wherever I went to. I had to eventually come on air and plead with people to stop Wunje. I think it was one of the most popular things that I'd ever done with the word LA. And it was annoying. It was really, because you see a trotro passing, you know, or whatever, and LA.
And the voices, the tones.
And even the worst one was with the women.
Oh.
Hello. And I'll just walk into a shop with a straight face, hoping that nobody. And when they see the straight face, that's when
they'll do it more.
I had to come on air to plead with people. You know, but hey, that's.
So your movement to where did you get the idea to create the first comedy show?
The comedy show.
Yes.
I remember. I don't know whether you would remember. Number one, Dankwa Circle, Talal Fatal. You know, I used to go there practically every evening, you know, from work, and I would just crack jokes, and they would be on the floor with laughter. And Talal said,
"That's on your table."
Yeah.
Where you
know, and Talal said, "You know, you should do a comedy show." I said, "Nah, no way. I mean, comedy show.
A whole you.
Those days, there was nothing like comedy show. It was concert.
Ayaz Bokana, Kujo December, those people.
You know, and I said no. But he said, no, you should give it a try. And incidentally, I'm the one who pushed Talal into music.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Yeah, I pushed him into music. And so I said, stand-up comedy. He said, yes, why don't we do direct cinema?
Hey.
So I tried, stood there for 1 hour, just spoke jokes.
To yourself.
Yeah. And I would say that people were skeptical about stand-up comedy because nobody had ever done it.
Okay.
But thank God I had very good newspaper reviews on the show.
Okay.
And so people were asking for a repeat,
Okay.
you know, a second show.
Had you by any chance seen the concert people the way they do theirs?
Yes.
Okay.
You know.
So, but yours was in English.
Mine was in English, you know. And the second show was, I think, 3 weeks after.
Oh.
But I remember I was going to perform.
Okay.
And I got to Department of National Lotteries, was it? No, the court, where the courts are. And there was a lot of traffic. A lot of traffic. So I said, what's going on here? Is it an accident or what do you call it? So I parked my car on the side of the road near the court. You know, because I looked and I said I was going to be late. You know, but I said, no, let me just check, you know, just follow there. So I came back, got into Rex because they had reserved a parking space for me.
For you.
And apparently the traffic was to Rex Cinema.
Whoa.
The car park was full, nowhere to park. But they managed to move a couple of cars and, you know, got my parking space.
You needed a helicopter.
And I walked in there. When I was introduced, the place was packed. And I said, my goodness.
Today is today.
Today's today.
And a great day is today.
You know, and the reviews were just fantastic. Then I started getting invitations from UCC. I performed there. I went to KNUST. I performed there. I went to Legon to perform there, and a few other places.
Was it bringing the kwacha?
Oh, it wasn't bad. It wasn't bad, you know. But it wasn't actually for the money. It was me, a passion, me.
To
you
share.
know, yeah, I know. So that also becomes a different success story. You know. And
Where did you meet Fritz?
Fritz, this story, the Klujesons, Kofi Klujeson, and there was a lady they were bringing down from Nigeria.
Okay.
One of the very, very popular gospel artists, Carol Breedy.
Okay.
And I was billed to be the MC.
All right.
And when I got there, I saw Fritz. So I said, oh, Fritz, you know, he's my cousin. I said, oh, what brings you? He said, oh, I'm MCing.
I said, how about something?
How? How come? Because I was also called to MC. He said, okay, so let's MC together. And when Carol performed, she was brilliant, you know. But during the breaks, Fritz and I would crack jokes.
Oh, okay.
Okay? And at the time, Tutubi Kwachi...
You knew him as a master storyteller.
Oh, yeah.
Uh-huh.
You know. And Tutubi Kwachi was there. And we would make people laugh to the annoyance of Carol Breedy. You know, because now, the show turned 2 hours.
Yeah.
You know, it tipped the scale.
Yeah.
And I think at a point in time, this girl got so annoyed that she walked off stage from there.
Straight.
You know, so we continued. And so Totobi said, look, you people should do a TV show.
Wow.
Straight away, I came up with FNF.
FNF.
And that was how.
Brilliant show. Almost all the people who were growing up in those days remember FNF. It was a good show.
People still remember it, and I'm surprised people still talk about it. And I remember I lost a friend who was rushing home. He used to come on Wednesdays, I think 8:30 p.m. And he was rushing home to Tema, and he blew a tire. And unfortunately, you know, it became fatal. But hey, that's through no fault of mine.
Yours was to make people laugh.
Exactly.
And he was rushing to go and laugh. He ended up laughing at the wrong side. Sometimes. Who came up with the idea of Midnight Express?
In fact, all the programming on Joy FM, I did with Kwesi Chum and Dusty Wayne in my living room. That's where we created all the programs. And so I said, I want to do something different. Midnight Express. Bring your problems. Let's talk about them. Your romantic problems and stuff like that. That was how Midnight Express came up.
It was beautiful. It was brilliant.
That's what a lot of people said. It became one of the number one program on Joy.
It was enticing. I didn't want to miss. And that time I was living in the town of Beautiful Nonsense. So it was during Hamatan that your antenna will go high before I'll be able to listen, because GBC was normal.
Yeah.
Then how do I hear my favorite voices? It was only during Hamatan.
I remember one time, after some time at Joy, I went to GBC and I was really, really insulted as a traitor, because it was like I transitioned to Joy FM and virtually killed, killed GBC FM at the time.
This job that we do has a lot of things. You were the pioneers, let me put off. The Mikey Guns and those people were there. Do the members of the opposite sex worried you at your time?
Oh, do you need to ask?
But your members are for spiritual reasons.
Especially for the program Midnight Express.
On internal mark of Asamabe, linkage na.
It was something else, But if you don't have that, I won't do it kind of thing, you fall prey, And I knew that, look, people will write letters to you, send you text messages, send you photographs and all that.
I'm sure you are glad that at that time there were no WhatsApp messages and everything. Like the way you would have flooded your
I know, right? But you see, I was also that type that they're not doing it because of you, they're doing it because of your voice. And the kind of music that you play. So I was determined not to go down that path. And hey, it worked for me. It worked for me. But obviously these things will still happen, as a broadcaster, you're an actor, actress, these kind of things. People.
Is it three things worry us? Is it three things worry us?
As
the
what?
stick, the bottle, and the caves.
I don't know about that.
Oh, is it you don't know?
I don't know.
Think about it and see if it
It
works.
might be. It might be.
The stick, fine. The bottles and the caves. Radio is not good though, but it's good sometimes.
But if you're a disciplined person,
that's it.
Yeah, then radio is good.
Oh, okay. So
I've always been a disciplinarian. One, because of my father.
But let's face it. If you're a disciplinarian, what's a chow? Yanka.
That is what people think.
Yes.
That is what people think. That you are arrogant, you are disrespectful, but that is not the case.
You hear my voice on air, and then you see me. You want me to behave like when I'm in the studio? No, I'm in the studio. I'm in character.
Exactly.
When you see me outside, I'm quiet. But you are quiet. How can you go and sit on?
Yeah, so you definitely will have two sides. To this job. You being yourself, and you being on air. When you're on air, you're a different person. When you come off, you're a different person. Does not make you an arrogant person or a disrespectful person. You see. People think that the way you behave on radio is the way you should behave off radio. That is not the case. Okay? People should respect the job as you do it. And people should respect you out of the job. Okay? So, for instance, when I started this LA kind of thing, people think that, once you do that on air, you should be like that outside. But you have your serious side aside. You have your serious side. You have your jovial side. You have your proud side. Not pride as in but you are very proud of what you do and what you have done. I'm very proud of myself, of my achievements. I mean, having to win 32 awards in my career. 32. And the two highest was, one was President Kufuor in 2008, Medal of Honor. And then the Eminence Award, which was handled by City TV at the time. The Eminence Award. Mine was the only one. It never continued. So, yes, and other awards that came out from different organizations and stuff like that. So, for me, I'm very proud, but it does not make me a proud person. I'm very down to earth.
Proud of your achievements.
Exactly. But I'm a very humble person.
Please, those of you who are listening to us, when you see us and then we are a bit quiet, don't think that we don't regard you or anything. This is the way we are. When you come on air, there are things I can do. When I see you and I'm quiet, Don't think that I haven't recognized you. I haven't seen you. I am ignoring you. No.
You see, another thing is that people think that when you are on air and you come off air, you know, you should be the normal side. But we are human. We are human. We have problems. People think when you're on the air and you're joking about it, we only problem.
Oh, I dream be an so.
But there's a dream.
Thank you. Double.
You see, because you have the responsibility of having to make people happy, want to listen to you. But at the time you are doing that, you don't have kobo in your pocket.
More dice where?
You don't have kobo in your pocket. So you must think of your responsibilities as well.
Sorry, if you hear me,
you know,
thinking in your head.
Exactly.
But you're making somebody laugh.
But we are human. It's like an actor, an actress. You see them as big, yes. Some people, because of maybe their achievements, or I'm on air, behave as if they are walking on air. They are proud, they are arrogant, you know. But when you show me that side of you, I cut you off.
Let me share something that when I started radio in Cape Coast, I was, even now look at my size, so you could just imagine. I was just there, and I don't know whether I had a big voice or something. Then actually somebody had gone to Elmina with my name, told some woman that he could get employment for the husband. So the woman, very industrious woman, like a big basket full of fish, fried fish, a canna, you know, sukwe, you know, better fish, the way it is done there. Now the person came with the husband to Accra. They went to sit at Kanishi, the police station. He said, sit here, I'm coming. Back off. He ran away with this, what do you call it, driving license and the fish. So I didn't know. I was on air as usual, having fun. Then I heard some noise. You know, when a fisherman is angry. Then there was this guy, Kakapiaka. I think it was from Obuasi. He said, Mojishawai, Pakufi. Oh, yes, Sukwanu Mobile. Oh, ye, oh, no, mobile bonus or the audio be acquiring. Oh, ye, Kitwe be. The people were very angry. I finished my program and came out. The man looked at me and said, Anyani Bia, in Canala Bati. Me. And I was like, why? So the person came mention my name, and that they had to. And the thing that touched me most, I think I was playing country on a Sunday, and then I had to go to this central hospital or something. I think somebody had been a semi-coma or something, and I said something, and he had been there for like 3 or 4 days. All they saw was the man was laughing. Then I think I remember what I said. The man was laughing, so they called me. The doctor called me that they should bring. So they actually came to the studio and took me to the hospital. I said, why? I said, oh, this is the situation. I didn't even understand. I didn't know radio had such profound effect.
Oh yeah, it does.
And it wasn't a too big a joke. It was this, you know, Agri Memorial. There was this driver who they were applying to Mori. So when you are going to Agri, definitely you pick a Mori car. So I think when they got to Agri, the person got down, and because of change issues, then a guy left was going, and so it's all right. So when he said it's all right, then he went and he called the mate. The man moved and then stopped. Then he called the mate. Kwame no. Now go school. It's all right now can I check that.
What?
It's all right now can I check that. And the mate said, it's all right more as some man now so I go school anymore. I said no, I say uncle. So he moved the car again. Got to where the guy was honk. And then stop. Cratching ya record. It's all out and I can. Say ya hurubo. say Pamo, say Abado, was is a Latin. And then when I said it, the man was in bed. He just burst out laughing. So they were wondering what was it. So there was some small radio that I said, oh, is that the effect of radio?
Yeah. It's you have no idea. It's very powerful. Very, very powerful. I mean, I had somebody, I think it was in Kumasi or Ejisu, and there was this lady who, I don't know, she just went nuts over Tommy Annan Forson.
Oh.
Okay? Now, there's this fair guy who goes to, I can't remember, I think it was Ejisu, who goes to, what do you call it, and
impersonate
me.
Ajay.
And, somehow was able to sleep with her, got her pregnant. He's also fair-colored. And disappeared.
The person is a sharpshooter. Shooter.
But the lady said, but if you are here in Ejisu, how come Tommy's on air?
And you are here.
That's a recorded program. It's a recorded program. It's a playback. That was how he was able to trap her. And so it got to a point where the pregnancy started showing. And the father said, by hook or crook, we must see who Tommy is.
Hey.
They come with the girl to the reception. She's pregnant.
Where were you, GBC or Joy?
GBC.
Jesus.
At the time. And it was the same Soul Train issue and then Soft and Gentle and stuff like that.
You do, and this your voice will always get you into trouble. Even now with all the coughing, it's always getting people on the
Sawala.
No, when you 100 though.
Sawala.
No voice in Pono, I'm on coughing.
Oh. So I'm told by the receptionist that some people are looking for me. So I said, okay, let them wait for me 20 minutes. I'll finish my shift. I come, I'll go to the reception. I say, yes, who's looking for me? I said, this man and this woman and this girl. Then the man said, Oniya. The girl said, and you know. I said, what's going on? Free. The man said, excuse me, are you Tommy Annan Forson? I said, yes. Sure, don't you know? The woman said, you know.
Yeah. End of story.
End of story. And so these are things that happen, impersonation and stuff like that. But again, that's it comes with the job.
I just know.
How for do?
Did TV help?
That even made it worse.
Really? TV and impersonation?
Well, you see.
No,
yeah. It was more of radio.
Yeah.
Okay, but TV. I mean, if you know me, you know me. If you don't know me, that's a different. But once you know this man on TV, I was on TV a lot.
Yeah.
But that was just one incident. That had happened. So
I'd actually gone to stories. I'd actually gone to somewhere that the woman said, "Oh, minimum," and so we had a photo together. The person, when they took a picture with them, and the photo was framed, the woman brought it before she realized it wasn't me.
Wow.
So all the time, framed photograph, there were about 4 people. I was supposed to be in there with them. It was the date, you come for then I said, what?
Yeah, these things happen. They did it to Parkway Brew. Yeah, the same thing. Yeah. So
please, when you hear voices and you see them, just at least say hello. If the person doesn't respond, then you know it's not the person. But as you go and say hello, if the person doesn't get the joke, please don't go further.
And incidentally, there's a Tommy Annan Forson in Kumasi.
Oh, really?
Okay.
What does he do?
He's a pastor. It was actually named after my father. My father and my uncle, they were so tight.
Okay.
They were very, very tight. And so he named me, I'm actually Thomas Jr.
Okay.
My father was Captain Thomas Annan Forson. Okay. But I used the Tommy for radio. And then his brother also had a son. He named after me. Because he loved me so much.
Younger.
Yeah.
He's much younger.
Oh, yeah, I could say young, but not much younger.
Compared to you?
Yeah, I mean.
No, it's also. His church will be nice.
Oh, yes.
It will be nice. There will be a lot of things to talk about.
Exactly.
After the sermon.
Exactly.
Hello. So, how many years did you spend at Joy?
Joy, I spent 2 years, and then I moved to Choice FM. I changed the name to Choice FM.
What was your last song you played?
I can't remember. I think it was Pilot of the Airwaves.
Okay.
Yeah, Pilot of the Airwaves.
Okay.
I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I am paying for them.
Oh yeah, obviously.
I mean, true now. No, but not to I never go gaga. The intro now was enough for me.
Yeah, I remember I used to play this on GBC as a starting for my afternoon show before I'd come to the section. Yeah.
Good one. So from Sunshine to Choice.
Yes, that's when I changed it.
You remember the last thing you said on Joy?
I can't remember honestly.
You signed off and you said, remember, we have a choice.
Oh, okay.
That was your last statement. Remember, we have a choice.
Okay.
Before you realized there was a Choice FM.
Yeah, that also that was also another thing, you know. The transition was phenomenal. In that I told, I trained all the staff again.
Yeah.
KKD had left then. I trained all the staff again. They thought I was coming there to come and fire people, but I retrained all of them. And I said, look, we need to rebrand the station. Fred Owari gave me the go-ahead to do whatever I wanted. He stepped back. So I said, okay, can we change the name of the station? He said, if that will do the station, good, because it wasn't really doing well. I said, okay, let's go urban radio. So I said, okay, let's have Choice FM. So it was.
Who brought the name? You?
I did, yeah, I did.
Did it have anything to do with the last words you said at Choice?
No, it's just coincidental.
You know.
And then George Brown brought what do you call it? The slag to the station. I've forgotten what it was.
Sunshine to your life? No, Sunshine to your life.
Something to your life.
Is it Sunshine or something?
No, it was something to do with track to your life.
Soundtrack to your life.
Yeah.
Hey, am I growing younger or older? Okay.
A bit raw. So on the 27th of June, I think, we signed off. They signed off that we'll be coming back on the 1st of July.
Okay.
And so at 7 a.m., and I very, very well remember that. And so 7 o'clock, I came on air to come and pray. People had no idea that I'd moved to what do you call it. But a lot of promotion went into it, that we're closing down, we'll be back on the 1st, every presenter, every program. So it gave people the edge to want to listen.
What was happening?
And the 1st of July, it's like Accra came to a standstill.
Republic Day.
Like Accra came to a standstill.
The voice.
Prayed, introduced myself.
Oh, Bombay.
Yes.
Ow.
Oh,
Jesus.
Master. Oh, please. You think I don't know how to pray?
One time, Bible.
So I did that, and straight away, the following day.
Please, was the prayer scripted or?
No. It was off the cuff.
You didn't script it?
No.
Okay. Oh, now I think I am safe.
Very, very safe.
I'm safe.
So Accra came to a standstill, and then bam, there was Choice FM. News sweepers. The following day, which was the 2nd, I started the CBS. That's the Choice Breakfast Show.
Yeah.
And then that was it. It was so phenomenal. It was huge. It was huge. And then at a point in time, Daily Graphic named Choice FM the most listened to station in Accra.
Because I'm going to ask how you transitioned from a public broadcasting to private broadcasting. How was it like?
Oh, I mean, it was an opportunity for me to be who I am or who I was at the time. And so the transition was fantastic, And at the time, back with the station was at Jangote. After Pantang, you have to pass the Pantang hospital, and people thought, when I pass Pantang, that's where my brain.
You have to pass to the left.
Exactly.
But you bypass. You don't take your medicine. You won't go up.
Yes, straight, go up to the hill there, and And so when Joy FM started, 6:30, I think, no, 6 o'clock, we came on air, and there was total confusion in the whole of Accra because I left on April 30th at GBC.
Okay.
And then on the 1st of May, I was on air with a different frequency. Okay. So people thought that maybe GBC had created a new station. And Tommy is there. But we kept on emphasizing the fact that it's the first private radio station, Joy FM. It's a private radio station. Yeah. Okay. But I think at the time, Joy had rented the frequency from GBC. So people didn't, what's going on? Today I hear Tommy here. Then the following day he's
Confucianist.
Here. I'm a Confucianist. I'm a Confucianist.
You should have been named after Confucius.
Confucius say, Tommy who moved to different radio stations create confusion in Accra. And so everywhere was Joy FM. Everywhere was Joy FM. So when I close, and maybe someone like Kofi Chakbono is on air, and I'm passing from Ajangote all the way to that. Every radio station, every radio set you hear is on Joy FM. It was an amazing transition, and so that has been very successful.
I was a villager. So I was reading from RTV magazines, and at least now, I come from the village the only village with a university and everything.
Okay, I hear you.
Castle, Fort, university, how many secondary schools and everything.
Martin.
You come from the biggest village in West Africa.
I hear.
Then I came to, I was getting to most of them from RTV magazines, from graphic showbiz, those things. I was just reading. And then we met in Takrady. I'd done my national service. I was on radio, and I heard Uncle Tommy was there with his Volvo.
The black Volvo. Oh, that car. I still have a picture of it,
Yeah. Oh, it's gone.
Oh, a long time. I sold it to a Prekese. Prekese?
Yeah.
Dr. Prekese. Yeah, he bought it.
Oh, okay. Should keep to you somewhere very well.
Well, how for do?
He doesn't know. I am come to museum. The attraction alone.
Yeah. And I remember when I came to Takrady, they gave me a special show to do on a Saturday. I think you were there. from 3 to 5 or 3 to 6.
3 to 6. It was a long program.
And because of that, they had shifted all the adverts within that space before and after. So that
and after. You could have
adverts
unlimited.
Exactly. And I don't know. I was told Takrady came to a standstill.
You are a Confucianist. You forgot your name.
I hear, what do you call it, roundabout?
Sego roundabout. There's Sego, the Goyle there.
That's right.
Roundabout.
That's right. You pass here. Everybody has.
Now they are trying to do some overhead there.
Yeah. Overpass. And every lead was on loud, and I think I just exploded with
Confucianist.
Thank you.
It was good.
It
was good. I was like, is that him? Okay, let me get closer to him.
And today, look at us working together.
Oh. Charlie, we've come far. Where's Natty Blue song? Walk by. People should
walk by, JK.
Some people don't understand when people are playing certain songs. This one, I'll play it for just 1 minute for a reason. And when you sit with your mentor, somebody who has inspired you, and then you sit in the same studio with him, you want to learn as you want to take almost everything from him. When Elijah was going, Elisha asked that he should be left with something. He had to touch the hem of the garment of Elijah.
My NYA has sent me what do you call it? You go you go to Cape Coast. Anyway, I beg. Cape Coast, me and then no get problem.
Encore. I will copy you now. So, Choice, to how many years?
Choice, I was there for I think 2 years.
And then I signed 2 years. I paid 2.
I was told that they wanted to do it as a talk station. So I said, well, since it's going to be politics, and it's going to be a talk station, I don't want to be a part of that.
Why don't you like politics?
Politics. I just don't like politics because of one. I just don't like it. I think it's something that can either harm you or destabilize you. But I look at the insults too.
Oh, okay. So it's just you don't detest it. You don't hate it.
No.
I just don't. Yeah,
I just don't want to be.
Don't want to be involved.
No.
Oh, okay. So, do you like sports?
If it's sports, then it's table tennis. Because I remember back in school, I won Greater Accra Regional Table Tennis Championships. I love table tennis, but I'm not a sports enthusiast.
Okay.
I'm not really diehard sports person.
Oh, okay.
I mean, even though I love Manchester United, I will not kill myself for them.
Oh, okay.
But yes, Man U is
at least when you see Alex Ferguson, you see him.
Oh yeah. I mean, he made me love, Man U.
Oh, okay.
But times change. Things.
Amorim has right now the love has gone down.
Yes, Amorim did.
Amortization. The first I heard amortization, I thought it was to do with amortimo. When I were doing accounting or something, say amortization, I was just looking at the teacher. The amortization there.
Motio. So we are open
And now pay. So at your point in GBC, was there any time that you had to do a continuity and announcer when there was sports commentary or something?
Oh yeah.
I was coming to that.
Yeah, you have to be what do you call the captain on the bridge?
The captain on the bridge.
Captain on the bridge. So you would and the painful part is that you have to sit in the studio because you never know when
will go off.
And especially when you have to do 3 venues. You have to do Cape Coast, you have to do Kumasi, and then Accra. So you do that every 15 minutes. So being a captain on the bridge.
I support Ebusian Dwarfs. Which team would you support?
Ebusian Tall.
Ebusian Tall.
The tall people.
Oh, you know Zach Bentu.
Zach Bentu, yeah.
Okay. You know Nana Butler?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You heard about them?
Yes.
You heard about when they went to the embassy?
No.
Oh. Okay, this one I will share.
Mm-hmm.
This one is a Cape Coast. They had gone to the embassy to look for visas for the Dwarfs players. They were traveling. So they when they presented and everything, say, who are you? Say, we are Dwarfs. Then they looked at me and said, and you are big and tall like that. They said, that's why we are mysterious.
I remember Zach Benton was quite tall.
Yeah. And one with Nana Butler as well. Mm-hmm. Was like, who are you? Say, we are Dwarfs.
We are Dwarfs.
And you are big and tall like that. They said, that's why we are mysterious.
Exactly.
That is mysterious Ebusian Dwarfs. How come you love a foreign team, you don't have a team in Ghana?
Hearts of Oak.
Like Hearts of Oak. Okay. What time did you fall in love with that?
Oh, years ago. I can't
Polo's
remember.
Time was pay Mama Kwa on that Polo no Mama Kwa.
It was actually when Mohamed Polo was playing that I loved Hearts of Oak. I mean, that guy was a master dribbler.
Fearsome 5.
Polo,
Mama Kwa, Anasedu, Peter Lamte. Who was on the right? Is it Yossen?
Yossen.
Yeah.
Nkatia Yossen.
With Adolf in the middle, right? Manchester.
Yeah.
The man could chest the ball.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, he had there was some Colin Spy and some...
But my greatest all-time footballer was Mfum.
I didn't see him.
Oh, my goodness.
I didn't see him. As for Polo, somebody will say, I saw him feely. The kind of things he did. But your Messi knew that the one pack.
Ronaldo, one pack.
The thing I saw. Another time I had been, me too, because I was a Red Cross member, we could go to the stadium for free. So if you there's a football match we want to go, we'll go and wear our Red Cross uniform. Oh, Red Cross. So I was barely 10, right? This one, I don't like to share. You remember Kwesi Ozu?
Kwesi Ozu, yes.
You see his size, huge frame. We went to the stadium, and then Kwesi Ozu got hurt. And small boys who took the stretcher, they were putting Kwesi Ozu on. So the players sacked us and they carried him himself. Imagine 10-year-old carrying Kwesi Ozu. No way. It was terrible. So support House of Oak.
Yeah.
I remember the Fearsome Five.
Yeah.
They
Like
were
I
quite
said,
good.
even though I was young, my greatest footballer for me was in Fum. Because he, I think he had Bridgestone ties. You know, his ties were massive.
Firestone.
Ah, he will shoot and then it goes into the net and it tears the net.
Just like Robert Kofi. Kofi is a very short person.
You know.
Oh, okay.
But yeah. So that's
Come and support Ebusian Dwarfs.
I'll think about it. When they grew a bit taller, then I'll
Okay, then come and support Venomous Vipers. You know, Cape Coast has nice teams.
Yeah.
Ebusian Dwarfs. Venomous Vipers. Which one? Choose one.
Kakuktus fish.
Oh, that one, they've gone.
Kakuktus fish.
Hey, Cape Coast, you know the first team to started the Excelsior before House of Oak. So there we'll add them. And we've had some teams, so Fankoba and others, they all got missing. Fankoba and what? Sweden All Blacks. Oh, the other was the BFC, and we have some nice teams.
Anyway, that's football for you.
What's your favorite food?
Fufu and granite soup. Anytime, any day. Anytime, any day. In fact, give me granite soup 3 times a day. 1 week.
Okay.
1 month. 1 year. Every day.
That means you have faith.
And wifey is an excellent cooker.
Like
granite soup.
You have faith.
Yes.
You have faith.
But she's an excellent cook.
Once you're able to
two
take
things that I love. Her chicken and her granite soup. Don't go there. Don't go there.
Hey, sister.
Don't go there.
Sana nyama ya ofie honyi. Sisi aro me bi on from hwene mansana. Was said. So apart from that, rice balls there.
Oh yeah. I mean.
That's why that's once you are in Katankwan lover there.
Excellent. And even with Banku. It goes well.
I mean, I'm fancy documentary translate them to pass the pie dish, ma. Oh, especially who do not now. Nowadays they put things in the fridge and microwave it. You don't enjoy. If you put it there, you are hitting it every day. I don't enjoy. So you love football a bit, but table tennis is your thing. You don't like lawn tennis.
No.
I don't like basketball.
No, not even the basket. How much more the ball?
Basket and for other things. You need to go zone, man. So, where from the idea of Rabodef?
I sat down one day and I said, if God were to call me and I've not shown people who want to be like me, or obviously you cannot be like me. I cannot be like Parkway because you're 2 different people, 2 different styles. You create your own style. But God will not forgive me with all this talent that He has given me. And He calls me and I've not shared it with people. So I came up with this idea of Rabodef being the first private school in West Africa. And that's it. That's another story, for
Rabodef no what chemos are watching a man there, what chemos are what to man there, watch how to speak on radio.
Exactly, how to speak on radio.
Okay.
And it's made a lot of people love the job. Made a lot of people who have been very successful. And that's also another proud side of me, that I've, even though there are people who, it takes somebody to make somebody.
Oh, of course.
And people like Charlie Sam, Godwin the late, Jim Amokpo made me who I am. It's time for me to also make people what they are today. So training people. That was before Rabude, but training people like Komna Dumo, Samuel Atamensa, Samens, Dorin Ando, Mado, Kofi Kumbilson,
KKB.
yeah. Kofi Kumbilson, Kwame Sifaka, and at GBC at the time.
Yeah.
You know, and a host of others. You know, so I thank God for giving me that idea.
Is Rabodev still in existence?
No, we had to close down when the COVID came.
I know. Why Zoom Rabodev?
That's it.
Why Zoom Rabodev?
No, those days Zoom was not. You know.
But the COVID opened our eyes to a lot of these.
Oh yeah.
So
You know, that's why we say sometimes every misfortune
it's a blessing.
is a blessing in disguise.
Is there any way we'll revive it?
We'll see what happens. I'll leave that to God to push us.
Uncle God, we want to call for Rabodev. You made me love some song. Yeah. I don't know if I could have the song here. Was it the first time I heard it? Yeah, I think so. Anna?
It be saying me.
Yeah, sure. I wouldn't country today about Marley, you know, because I think, yes, I think so. It was that time that I heard it. I was like, whoa, who's this person? You made me fall in love with this song. My best song of Dolly Parton is "You Are."
You are, yeah.
Everything about "You Are." I don't know. I think it's like me talking to somebody. But you made me fall in love with this one.
Yeah, I remember the first time I played it. The response was just massive. It was really, really massive, you know. And I think the questions that she asked, hello, God, you know, are you mad with us? Are you angry with us? You know, can you forgive us? So it was talking about God and humanity. Like what we have done, you know, to anger God. Can you forgive us?
And I'll tell you why I fell in love with this song. It was a double-edged sword. At that time, somebody I knew, who is a good driver, by the way, somebody who gets home.
Well, you can put it in different contexts. Somebody who's just very careful.
Okay. So this person who had been driving for, like over 40 years. And he came across an accident. And he just looked up the sky and said, and when we heard that, it was around that time that you played the song too. So
it was coincidental, sort of.
So I was thinking it was, and this is a man we looked up to. He started crying. Somebody that, we know, like, when you see a military man crying, you know that the emotions. But somebody that we look up to, Uncle Nari, what about us? And then I think around that time too, the song came.
Yeah, it's a lovely song. It just talks to us directly, you know, as human beings, and that is where, you know, I just don't play country because it's country, but I play country because I love country. It talks about our emotions. It talks about family. It's a storytelling genre of music. Okay, but like people have been asking me so many times, how do I select my songs? How do I play them so in a rhythmic pattern, one after the other? You know, because I want to do it in such a way that you find it difficult to get up, maybe go to use the washroom and come back because you don't know what you're going to miss you know. And I remember one time a lady sent me a WhatsApp message, you know, after the show, that more or less I've injured her, you know, and so I didn't understand the text. So I called her. She's in Tema. I said, "Oh, mommy, well, you say I've injured you." She said, "My bladder." I said, "Your bladder?" I said, I could. She said, "I couldn't move 1 inch because you play this song, it follows with another, it follows and goes on and on. For 3 hours, she wanted to use the washroom, she didn't. And so her bladder was really hurting. And so that was the essence of her writing, you know. And it's not the first time, it's happened several times, you know.
See, you are not a footballer, but you give people injuries.
Some gentleman said, before he could get to the washroom,
he had done it
straight. You know, and people keep saying that, look, you keep, either you are injuring people or you are hurting people or what.
So what's your favorite song? Plenty.
I can't tell.
I really can't.
I can't tell, honestly. The fact that it tells a story, you know. But one of my favorite artists, if you're asking, is Vince Gill.
As for Vince, yes.
You know.
Yeah, Vince. Vince's voice
is silky. Very, very silky. You know, you can listen to him, even though at this age, he still has the same voice. Well, I guess once God has given you that voice, you know, because people tell me, Tommy, ask for your voice, dear. I say,
I'm here when somebody is talking about somebody's voice.
And people ask me, how do I get this voice? I say, I eat a lot of bananas. But have you seen a monkey with a good voice?
It's amazing how you keep your voice, and I'm learning. Maybe by that time, if I will be able to maintain my voice. I saw Pat Thomas singing. I'm like, will he ever change?
Well, so long as you don't do anything to damage your vocal cords, then I think you're good to go.
So imagine if you are introducing the song, how would it go? But your introduction.
This is the man with the silky voice. I call him the silkiest country singer ever. He's known as Vince Gill with the song I Still Believe in You.
And you are listening to the voice of the man himself, Tommy Annan Forson, the king of country, right here on Z101.9 FM. He's been doing radio for a donkey number of years, and he's still got that
47.
lovely voice. 47 years. Maybe young Kraba Sama. You have a lovely voice. We are grateful. Mapacho, your last words for.
Well, first of all, I thank God for giving me life. And I thank God that through His grace and mercies, on the 3rd of August, I'll be 70 years.
3rd of August.
Yeah, I'll be 70 years. And I want to thank people who have loved me for being the broadcaster that I am. I've had massive support, massive support, and I'm still getting it from NYA, the brand.
Madam! And from my press. Kawas.
Yes, and to all the fans who have believed in me and still believe in me, people who love my program Country Express, people who have loved me throughout my career, even my enemies, I want to thank them. And I believe that once I've been able to touch many lives, I'll continue to do that, because they say once a broadcaster, always a broadcaster.
If you are not being a broadcaster, apart from the fitter, what would you have done?
I really don't know, honestly speaking.
You are not from the other side. You couldn't have been a carpenter.
No.
Carpenter.
At all.
I was Joseph. If Joseph were to be a Ghanaian,
he would have been a carpenter
from the other side of the night.
Yeah.
Who's your favorite high life singer?
I used to love CK Man. And for me, his best song, for me, Ajo Yankee.
Why?
I don't know. The beat is just nice. It's I don't know. There's something about that song. Yeah, but A.B. Krensel is also another. And a couple of others, but all, Papa Yankson.
How about trouble?
Why, you too?
From CK. For me, CK was my friend. In fact, he taught me a lot of things that I do on radio. He's a lot of information that I know.
I was going to say CK Man. I said Papa and CK Man, yeah.
So I just go and sit by him and like, Kofi, when you're no court, no, so teach me, and then A.B. Krentel too. So I used to go to CK Man. That's for A.B. Krentel. Even I usually go there and we sit down, we talk about music. When you want any music, Kofi, now Papa and Moshe Mam. Hey, Makake kuna ye mam no why you? Yeah, for program. That will do another compilation and give it to them. So I do Yankee Ben Shebia.
Oh, Mishebi.
Tie and die. I enjoy. So where were we getting those things from? Adjo Yankee, then the footwear was also Swedru.
Yeah, I think footwear was Swedru. Yeah.
Why?
I don't know.
Swedru.
No, but generally Ghanaians are creative.
Very,
very creative, So don't be surprised when some of these things come out.
But Adjo Yankee sold.
Oh yeah, it was massive. It was massive. Massive. I think it's 23 minutes long. Yeah.
But you don't dance.
Oh, I do. Everything is dependent on moods.
So there a movement and so be a.
Oh yeah, movement.
And so be a. So
Sisimo.
Tabunimbo. Thank you, Uncle Tommy and Annan Forson. It's been a pleasure having you. I've learned so much. At least I'll know how to keep my voice. I want to speak like the monkey, so I'll eat more bananas. I'll take in more fruits.
Monkey. Who born your father?
So I've learned so much. We'll do a second one. We'll find time and do another one. Talk about others. We'll talk about music. We'll talk about other things, and we'll talk about jokes on stage. That one there, it's no crutches and beer. Now,
maybe I'll tell you one just before I go.
Very good, important.
Yes. If you are going to befriend a military man's daughter,
you mean your sister?
Be very careful, oh. Be very, very careful, because this military man has got a beautiful daughter, and he's obsessed with her, and over the wall, she has fallen in love with a boy, but the father doesn't know. So anytime the father goes to work, the girl will light paper like rubbish, and when he sees the smoke, then it's like
all clear. Oh, so that why was the girl a Catholic? It's like
let's not go there.
The Pope still know.
Then he'll jump the wall. Then they come and do their thing. He goes away, and it's been happening for quite some time. Then one time, the father decided, he doesn't feel like going to work. He wants to sort out some papers and stuff like that, So he did that, gathered all the papers and rubbish, and took them to where the girl has been burning, and then lit the rubbish.
Signals Bureau. Why are you? Attention!
So he sees the smoke, and the man is standing there with a stick, pushing the papers into the fire. And then this boy jumps straight over with only boxers.
Interesting.
Only boxers. Then the man shouts, Hey! Who bed you are? He said, Pacha, me bed she draws.
There's fire on the mountain. Pacha bed.
Me bed she draws.
Hello. Thank you so much for the. You've made my day. It's a Saturday.
Thank you.
I think I've learned so much. Next time we'll do it. Yes, she does. Next time. Yeah.